You can smell it in the air. That, my friends, is the smell of sheer Tory panic. Because once again, we have had, not only from this weekend, but even today, a recent poll, one predicting the Tories would win 98, I think, 95 seats, something like that, I believe it was. And another one just this morning predicting 155, which either way has two very, very big ramifications. Because we know the next general election, the Tories are going to lose. And that is, everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. But also should remind you, no reason to get complacent. No reason to get complacent at all. Make sure you get out and vote. If you do get out and vote, make sure you get out and you vote tactically. Vote for the party which is most likely to get rid of the Tories. And here's the thing. The bigger the scale of defeat, something which we have constantly talked about again and again and again, is the bigger the scale of the defeat, the more they are going to spend in complete and absolute oblivion, wandering the political wasteland, trying desperately to do all kinds of who knows what kind of crazy stuff. We saw this very much in the 1997, and it wasn't until you had Cameron come into the party, who tried to turn the party around to try and sort of steer them in this more centrist direction. The party actually started to come back, and during that time, Labour got a lot of stuff done because it was just a party that had lost its way, couldn't really get together a coherative pitch, and they were just so, infighting. And people forget that Cameron had to come out and actually say, look, our infighting, our civil warring is what is damaging the party. Cameron actually made attempts at trying to unify both factions. And you can, say how successful, or maybe in a lot of cases how unsuccessful he was as well. But that is what is going to happen. The night of the general election is going to be about how big. That is going to be the scale. And remember, we are looking at some very, very big names losing their seats in the upcoming general election. From Rishi Sunak himself possibly being the very first ever prime minister to lose their seat in a general election, to people like Penny Mordaunt, Tom Tugendhat, James Cleverly, all these people who we have talked about time and time again, who would love just to throw their hat in the ring and be the next leader of the Conservative Party, who, from, again, Kimmy Badenoch, Penny Mordaunt, two of the most recent people who have been hyped up as the possible replacements to Rishi Sunak. Well, even if you were to replace Rishi Sunak with Penny Mordaunt or Kimmy Badenoch, bear in mind, at the moment, possibly likely, she will retain her seat. And that we will probably do a lot of future videos talking about Kimmy Badenoch, but I've already talked before about how many people, not only in the parliamentary party but non-parliamentary party, do consider Kimmy Badenoch not really someone who is ready to be leader, and has at times exhibited points where they feel that if she was leader and she acted like that, might not make the party look the best way. And that has come from senior Conservatives in the party itself, and of course people in the non-parliamentary Conservative Party. Even Conservative Home has written pieces about why they don't think Badenoch is going to be the best leader. But they are going to be spending wondering the political wilderness and wasteland for a decade, if not more. And I keep on trying to reinforce this idea every single time that if you do this, you open up huge opportunities. For example, the recent poll that puts them on 155 MPs. We know that didn't take tactical voting into account. So what if the tactical voting does come into account and this brings more about more defeats for the Tories, and then this puts this and this is the real interesting one. What if then the Tories aren't the main party of opposition? What if the main party of opposition becomes the Lib Dems? Under that, that then creates huge opportunities for having a really progressive bloc, not only in Parliament, but having really good progressive ideas put forward and fielded. And that, once again, is the opportunity that lies before us to have these good arguments and ideas and discussions put forward and not having an argumentative way that these should be like you see many people put forward. Oh, Labour should be doing this because if they don't, they're not, I don't know, they're not a party of the left, etc. Well, that's very antagonistic, and that's unfortunately what I don't want to see. That would be very, very bad. What you want to see is you want arguments saying you want to put something forward that will be a really good and benefit the country in a very big way. Put it forward like that. Don't put it forward in a very sort of argumentative fashion. Put it forward in that way. Change the way how you present the argument and put it forward with all the positives that these can bring, because ultimately that is now the big opportunity that once again lies before us. This idea that we can just completely clean the slate of the Tories, have them just not even be a major political force in Parliament. That alone would have huge positive ramifications. Huge positive ramifications. And bear in mind, we've been over the piece very recently from Conservative Home saying, oh, don't worry, somehow, yes, we're going to lose this general election, but the next general election, we're going to come back and we're going to win massively. On what? What ideas are you going to bring forward? What exactly are you going to do? Bear in mind, this was the exact same position that many Tories put forward in the wake of 1997. Oh, don't worry, we're going to come back in what, 2021 was it? I think, yeah, 97, yeah, 2021. And we're going to win a massive victory. Of course, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That did not happen until, of course, well, arguably you could say David Cameron won in 2015. Even when they went into coalition with the Lib Dems, they didn't fully win until 2015. That was a long time that the Tories were out of power. And I think that is something that we have to sort of recognize and sort of keep at the forefront of our mind and sort of really recognize that the big opportunities actually really lie if the Lib Dems become the main party of opposition for them, then they themselves have an opportunity to really, really reap the benefits of becoming a bigger party. And remember, the Lib Dems, I don't agree with them, 100% on everything they do. But honestly, the Lib Dems have put forward in the past some pretty progressive ideas and have backed some pretty progressive stuff. Would not be the worst thing in the world if, they became the main party of opposition and maybe even the post next general election after, they won more seats. Because then That might lead us to things like PR. It could lead us to all kinds of like really good stuff that we have sort of wanted to do for a long, long time. And I keep on stressing the opportunity that really lies before us on this. Are we going to get everything we want? No, because that's politics. That's how politics works. You are never ever going to meet an MP or anyone that you 100% fully agree with. But I'll tell you now, 40% is better than nothing. Because if you continue with this current Tory government, that's what you're going to get. Nothing. But if you just wipe them, if you consign them to complete oblivion and the political wilderness that awaits them, then the future and the progressive future that lies before us is amazing to think about and consider. It really, really is. So until then, as always, think about who you're going to vote for, especially the coming local election and the general election. Get out, vote tactically. There is a tactical voting website out there called Stop the Tories. Go check it out. Check what it says about your current constituency. And honestly, roll on general election night, whenever that will happen to be. It'll be some point in the future. We just don't know when, but it'll be soon. But as always, until then, we'll see you all next time. And don't forget to use the links down below to help support the channel. And you can also just help by clicking the like, the share button, and of course, if you're new, click the subscribe button. So until then, we'll see you all next time.